Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Thursday. And of course, let's head up to our friends up in the top band. Of course, been with the reigning champions, of course, in the NTFL competition. Of course, that is the PINT Football Club. Because earlier this year, they absolutely humiliate the Waratah in the grand final. And of course, we've got three very special guests to us right now to tell us a bit about before their training this afternoon. Thanks all three for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. Well, get all three to introduce yourselves and what position did all three play on grand final day?
Yeah, so I'm Sarah. I played in the Div 1 grand final on the Wednesday night down in the forward line.
Awesome. I'm Jasmine. I ruck for the Premier League.
And I'm Claire. I played in the Div 1 in fullback.
Tell us a bit about grand final day. And I think between Division 1 and the Prems, it was maybe a week, or maybe it might have been on the same week. You sort of played your grand final. Am I correct?
Yeah, same week. Yeah. The Div 1 grand final was on a Wednesday night, and then the Premier League grand final was on the Saturday.
How was the preparations like? Even though obviously there was, a bit of a difference in going to training and obviously going down and support your team and playing the game.
The preparation for the Prems or the preparation for the Div 1?
Both.
Obviously having 2 out of 3 teams in the club making the grand final, the vibe is pretty big around training and leading into the grand final. And then we played our grand final, and then we sort of went down and heckled these guys at their training on the Thursday night before their grand final. So
there was definitely a buzz around training Thursday night, that's for sure.
It definitely kind of sets the scene for the Saturday when you go in and we win the first grand final, and then that leads into the grand final weekend for everybody else. So it's a good way to start.
Obviously, Div 1 won their premiership first before the Prems did. So the Prem 1 in particular, how much of a motivation was it to make it a clean sweep, knowing that you Div 1 won it a couple of days earlier?
Yeah, well, I guess it sets the standard and that bar really high. We obviously want to join in on the celebrations. It would be tricky, I think, having 1 win and 1 loss. It would, I guess, shift the vibe around the club, but it certainly didn't. It really picked us up and made it a really special week leading into the grand final.
For both teams, when was it a point in the grand final that you felt comfortable enough knowing that you won the premiership to enjoy the moment?
I don't know. Our Div 1 game was quite close. It was probably the closest match we had all year. The hardest fight we'd had. It never felt like we were actually winning. So really, it was that when that final siren went, was that moment that we realised, yeah, we'd done it. Premier League a little different, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for us, we first the Waratahs in the semis before the grand final, and they gave us a bit of a touch up. We weren't really expecting the calibre that they brought on the day, and we had a few things going on in the club as well and a few injuries here and there, but we didn't really put our best foot forward then, so we had a bit of a point to prove, and I think getting off to a good start was really big for us. And then I think by about halftime it kind of sunk in that we were giving ourselves the leg in front to potentially win it, and I think from there the game just got funner and funner because we had realised that it would be pretty hard for them to come back by that stage.
I know this was about 8 months ago when your grand final happened. When the siren sounded, was it a relief or a celebration, and where was the ball at the time?
I have no idea.
Div 1, it is in the midfield, and it was going back to our forward when the siren went, because I was very close to it, and Sammy had marked it, and I remember telling her to just hold it as long as she could so she could finish with the ball, and she kicked it out of the midfield when the siren blew. When we had it.
Oh, I can't remember, honestly. I think for me personally, I was so relieved it was done. I was sporting a broken hand at the time, and I was just so ready for that game to be done. When that siren went off, it was just relief. I don't know where the ball was.
You had
So-
that big came through in the last
yeah,
quarter.
that's
So you
true.
guys were like up, and then it got really dark. It got really windy. I think maybe even there was some lightning
Yeah,
around, and I
that's
thought
true.
it was going to rain. So it was pretty electric.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
It's literally electric.
Yeah.
So who got the whole the Premiership Cup first in your respective teams?
Me,
Claire?
I did. Me and Lovey, our coach. We got to hold it up, and then everyone charged in, and just madness as soon as everyone charged in.
I don't know, actually. Obviously, our head coach, Ricky, would have been handed the cup before us, but I think I actually got a sneaky hand on there in our picture if I look back. But yeah, no, we're all ecstatic. I can't actually recall.
They need to make the cups a little bit stronger up here in the NT. They
A bit worse for wear.
they end up a little bit worse for wear.
I have to ask, when you held the cup first, how good was it before your teammates swamped onto you?
In all honesty, I'd rather not have that responsibility of holding it up first. I'd rather all of us just straight away. It was pretty surreal. I was playing injured, and really, it's a team effort. So as soon as the girls came across and we all held it together, that was when it was more important, I think.
When your teammates swamped onto you, you worried that you were going to drop the cup, or were you worried you're going to get crushed?
Bit of both. Cup's quite heavy, and I'm quite short, so it was very much someone took it off my hands because I needed to be stable on my feet with a big crowd running at you. Yeah.
Now, for all three of you, obviously you would have got your Premiership medals on the day. How long did you wear your medals around your necks for, and did either you sleep with it? Be honest.
I slept with it, absolutely.
Yeah. Always sleep with it.
I think I wore it Wednesday, Thursday,
Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday.
maybe Saturday and Sunday. So 5 days in
days,
a row. Yeah.
Did you do Mad Monday? No.
Oh.
I was Sunday.
Okay, that's a holiday.
Yeah. I might not have worn it on the Friday. I might have had a day off.
I wore it to school. Definitely wore it to school.
Did either you get a chance to bite on your medal, and is it real gold?
I've got it here.
Oh,
And we have to tape them up because they fall off so they're all taped up. Because they have been lost in the celebrations afterwards previously. But this one is intact and it's definitely not gold.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's gold. It's real gold.
Lee Reese here as well. Can she jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Obviously, I will get the player that just jumped in to introduce herself and what position she played on Grand Final Day.
So Lee Ree, Lisa Marie, but everyone calls me Lee Ree, and played down forward. Didn't contribute too much to the scoreboard, but still put a couple of points on there.
Question I just asked the other three, which I'm going to ask you. How long did you wear your medals around your necks for, and did you sleep with it, and did you bite on your medal?
I don't think I bit on my medal because my teeth cost too much money. I definitely had that around my neck, and the flag was my blanket on the Sunday night. Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously you just beat me to my next question. Did any of you get a chance to sleep with the flag? We know we've already know one of them did.
I slept with the cup.
Did you scream it?
Yeah. I just woke up next to it, and it was unfortunate. But no, I don't think so. It was in pieces at one stage. It needed some repair. We had two pieces rather than one cup. So yeah, it needed to be fixed a few times. Same with the Premier League one.
Yes, I did take the Premiership Cup home in about 4 pieces, and my dad very generously super glued it all back together before the Sunday, and which it resulted in it getting anyway. So
All right. So, okay. I think you're pretty much answering my next question about the cup then. Is both cups back together now?
That's a great question. I have not seen the Premiership Cup from Premier League as of yet. I've seen it in multiple pieces on multiple occasions, but I haven't actually seen it fixed. So I'm going to say it is, but I'm going to confirm.
We couldn't get it here because the girl who has it is coaching a junior team tonight, and she left early this morning and forgot to pack it. So
She did.
yeah,
So I feel like that is indication that it's in one piece.
back in one piece.
Yeah.
So we got the Division 1 in front of us then, by the sounds of it. Either of you get to kiss your respective Premiership cups before it went into pieces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Although the Premiership Cup did break upon presentation. So, yeah, I don't know if that counts.
Is there photo evidence of this?
Yeah, so there is a bit of wood on the base of the Premiership Cups.
Okay.
So when it was presented to our coach as we were winning it, that fell off.
Oh.
From the get-go.
It was downhill from there.
It was.
Oh.
In one piece. Non-breakable.
Yes.
Talented
Still.
Oh,
the whole thing, just
well
a
put
little
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Still,
That'll do
talented
the trick.
Yeah. What about all for your football journeys? Where did it all start and why did you choose it? And then the second part of that question, what does the sport of footy mean to all of you, especially playing for PINT?
I always grew up with footy. Grew up in Victoria with two brothers, so often kicking the ball around the backyard with them. Then when I moved up to Darwin, always loved sport. So I've been at PINT since last 4 years. And it's just like a big family being at PINT. Being so far away from your actual family. It's your family away from home. And it's just a big community, so everyone makes you feel welcome. It's the best part of your week, just coming down to training, having a kick, having a yarn. Love it.
So similar to Claire, I grew up in Victoria, two brothers, went through a bit of Auskick and then did a bit of junior footy, but then kind of moved on to netball. Then when moving up here, started at Tracy Village, and then before last season actually swapped clubs, wanting to go to a bigger club, and obviously some of the things that Claire spoke about with PINT and it being your family away from family, that definitely is the big club culture that I was looking for, but also the things that come with a big club in terms of the coaching and opportunities. So that's kind of why PINT is the club for me now. So yeah, great move, especially with a medal last season, I guess. I originally come from South Australia and haven't really dabbled in football at all. I mean, I used to kick the footy with my dad and my brothers growing up, similar to these girls, I guess. Moved up to Darwin about 6.5, 7 years ago and picked up a footy for the first time for a different club. I actually started with St. Mary's and played half a season at St. Mary's and then got drafted. So I played in the AFLW for a few years, travelled around Australia pursuing that, and then come back, and some really good friends of mine were at PINT, co-captaining and playing at the time, as well as coaching, actually. So coaching captains and all of it. And they reached out for a hand, and I come down just to give the girls a few tips and absolutely fell in love with it and all the people here. And I have never looked back, and I've loved being a PINT ever since.
And again, grew up with a couple of brothers. I'm a bit older than these girls, so football really wasn't an option for me when I was growing up. I just did netball, but always wanted to play footy, so I didn't actually start playing footy until I was 37. And I've been at PINT now for 4 years, and it's like Claire said, it's just my family, it's my happy space. Like we're sitting here at the moment and we've got Oz kick out in front of us and Junior's behind and my daughter sitting next to me. Looking mortified. But you know, she plays now as well, and she plays for PINTs, and she looks up to this playing group, and she comes into the change rooms when we've won, and like I'm so grateful that she is in this environment and she's going to have all of those opportunities that I missed out on when I was a kid. So if she wants to play football, she can. If she wants to do something else, then that's fine. But it's such a great foundation for her to start.
Before you mentioned right at the start, what position you played on the field on grand final day? If you had a dream position, we'd love to convince your coaches to put you this year or for the remainder of this year and into next year. Where would that be? Be honest.
I reckon if I was 20 years younger and fitter, I'd love to have a go on the wing.
I have rucks. I'm quite tall. You probably can't tell me sitting down, but taken on the ruck role forever, basically. And I probably wouldn't want to put it on anyone else. It's a bit of a burden, if you ask me. It's physically so demanding and it hurts to be a ruck, to be completely honest. And I wouldn't want any of my teammates to have to go through that. So I'm happy to stick it out for as long as I can and then hand the reins over to someone as crazy as me.
I guess I'm pretty happy down forward. When I was at my old club, I did have to play here, there and everywhere. So it's nice to kind of have a home and to stay down forward and kick some goals. So yeah, no changes for me.
I'm tiny. I'd love to do ruck just to feel tall. Never going to happen.
I had to do that last year. It wasn't fun.
Look, I started my first year. I was in the forward line. I loved it, but then randomly got put in the back line and been there ever since. And I really enjoy the back line and the pressure of the back line. Yeah, I'd stay in the back line, I think. What
have all four you learnt from each other on and off the field?
You're never too old to party.
I'm too old to party. That I learned off the field.
I've learnt just recently that we need to make our ice baths colder. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Leading from the front. Yeah. Colder ice baths. Yeah. No, I think we have just such a great caliber of all different types of people with all different individual skill levels and things that they can bring, not just as football players, but as people. And I think that's what makes our club so special. It's not really as much about the footy, it's about the little community that we've created and just having a lot of fun together. And I think our footy continues to improve because of that. And it's just a great environment to be in. So it's tricky to say individually from a footy sense, but the more you surround yourself with good people, the better you are, I think. And that's sort of how our club's been successful. And all of our volunteers, of course, I say.
Yeah. I think the number one thing on the field and off the field is respect and communication at the end of the day. And I think like at PINTs Football Club really encourages and fosters. It's all about being a good person first, and then the rest just happens.
We'll finish with these last two because I know that you got training very, very shortly. What would be your advice to people, especially from Melbourne and all the southern states for that matter, to head up to the NT and watch some amazing NT football, especially watching the mighty defending champions try to hopefully go make back-to-back or three-peat? I can't remember how many premierships he's won in a row now.
Div 1 have won the last 3 years in a row, and Prems have won 2 out of the last 3. Yeah. I think, like, obviously it's hard playing footy up here. We're playing in the heat and the humidity, and it's tough, but it's such a good caliber of football up here, and we're seeing more and more people coming up and finishing their season down south and then coming up here and giving it a go. Not just for the footy, but just for the complete sea change for the NT.
The lifestyle.
it's very fast footy up here. Like having played around Australia, like I find that the territory has got a bit of flair. It's really fast and it's a bit chaotic at times, and I think that's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah, I'd just say it's not for the faint-hearted. We do play in the middle of the day, the build-up. It's everyone I work with thinks I'm crazy when I say I'm going to football training or that I've got a game. So, you know, definitely lots of fun, but it's tough, but I think that makes it even more rewarding.
It's a lot better than winter, that's for sure. Yeah, cold and miserable. There's no such thing here. Sun's always shining. Yeah, definitely best place to play sport.
We'll finish with a two-part lighthearted question. The first part is, who's the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikTok/Be Real? And then the second part of that question is, do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Jeez. We have our team full of comedians. So that is really and TikTok is not really a huge thing within our club. I think there's a few people that should do TikToks because they would be hilarious. But no one actually really.
I feel like there's a few like Courtney and stuff that use Be Real, but I wouldn't say it's like,
I don't even know what that is. I'm being real.
You haven't seen them take those photos in the moment?
No, okay, I do not. Wow.
You're in the moment.
So isolated.
I think we have so many funny people at the club, but mostly it's funny because we're just doing really dumb things. Like it's not intentionally funny.
Yeah.
Our fines, I would like to see how our fines kitty compares to fines down south. I think we would probably be right up there with the most money made off of a football season around Australia. All right, I put my money on it. I would.
Do you know how much we make?
A lot.
Okay.
I'd say yeah, it'd be up there.
Definitely last year.
Yeah. My ritual is to not have a ritual.
Yeah, I feel like with our draw being so sporadic, I think it's really hard to have a ritual because your games are all different times and like you can't really stick to how it's going to be. So I think to try and fit that into your day.
I tuck my shoelaces in an order.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. But I just think that's an OCD thing anyway.
Probably, I can't have fizzy drinks before games anymore. Yeah. I had a weird time where I felt like I had like an air bubble in my chest. I think it's all of the acid from fizzy drinks. Like
no
don't
fizzy
have
drinks.
them like bad.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about the fine system a moment ago. Now, I think we're through the first month of the season already. Who's copped the most fines and what was it for?
There's so many. I don't understand how many we've had.
I've already paid 2. Yeah, one with done that.
I gave myself time after training that I like skipping around. Flavor loves so hard, and the next training session, I've never seen someone face plant so bad. I just thought that was karma in the first place.
She was laughing like at the end of training. And so
yeah, she got her boot caught in a hole and twisted her ankle. It wasn't great, but I was like, that is karma in the first form. Sorry.
Did she find herself though? She's the fines master.
All for you. Thank you so much for giving up some of your time before training to join us. Best of luck this weekend in particular and for the remainder of the season. Let's hope it all goes well, and hopefully I'll try and make the trip up to the NT myself to watch this amazing team in action and obviously go Point.
Yeah, great talk. Thanks, Will.
No worries. And of course, that is, of course, the Point Football Club, and especially the Div 1 champions and the Premier champions of the previous season. Of course, be hoping to do it again in this current 23-24 season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.